Hi, Matt, and hi, Alex. Thanks for joining us all the way from, well, is it different places across Australia? Are you both Central Coast, or Alex, are you over
I'm in Sydney.
Wonderful stuff. No, wonderful to meet you.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Paul, how you going?
Very tired. Sore fingers.
Congratulations on the epic effort that you put in here.
Bravo. It's everybody, mate. Thank you, but thank you.
Yeah, bravo and bravo to the team. Superb stuff. I've been dropping in and out throughout the day. Obviously, it's very kind for us from a time perspective. 9 o'clock at night, so I've been awake since 8 a.m. So I've been dropping in and out of the feed. But you guys have put in the all-nighter, so fair play to you.
Yeah, me and David were saying this earlier, that it's good to finally do something where we can have a chat with you guys at like a reasonable time pretty much for everyone. Because when we've been doing like those bigger events, it's always been at night here, which is the early morning for you guys, and it just doesn't really line up all that well. So it's great to do this, and yeah, it's all good. Paul, whilst you're around, do you want to just obviously this is a great opportunity to show that Gig Buddies isn't just the one organization we're raising some money for today. It's a global thing. And do you want to just quickly comment on why Gig Buddies for today, I suppose?
It was a very, very obvious choice because I work for another part of the Theatre Trust umbrella, and obviously I knew about Gig Buddies previously. I knew the work that they do, basically through Frank Turner, when Frank Turner did some Gig Buddies stuff previously. I'm a musician, I've been a full-time musician. I see people, I see people that that come to the gigs. I see them struggling to get to gigs sometimes and stuff like that. So the enormity of some of the people that need support to get to those gigs and support that runs later to take them, and just the whole ethos and the whole idea of Gig Buddies is just such a phenomenal thing. It was really easy after doing the last world tour. Quite quickly, people were going, when are you going to do another one? When are you going to do another one? And it was like, if we do it, we're doing it for Gig Buddies. We have to. Because they're just wonderful people. And then, brilliantly, I spoke to Sam, and Sam's passion for what he does was like infectious. So it was like, right, okay, yeah, we're sold.
Well, thanks so much. And it's just great to be along for the ride, really, and do this and go over the world. And what I've really enjoyed about it so far is exactly what we're about to launch into, in highlighting what Gig Buddies means to different people all over the place. And then thanks for Alex and Stavros joining us right now. Wonderful to see you both.
Hi guys. Can you hear me well?
We can, yes.
Good. So I just thought I had some audio issues.
No worries. Good. Sounds good.
It's all good, yeah.
And yeah, we've got a very helpful comment section as well. So if there are any audio issues, they usually point them out for us and help us out for that.
In the middle of the song, normally.
Alex, are you happy to tell us about how you got involved with Gig Buddies and how you found out about them?
Sure. Actually, I don't know how I found out, but I know my father in Australia, who's also from England. Help me with it.
Nice. And have you? How long have you been part of Gig Buddies in Sydney?
7 years actually.
Nice, real long time then. So
yeah.
Is that from the very beginning? Then it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm an OG.
Wonderful. I like OGs. That's great. We've got a Gig Buddies OG joining us after this. It's Richard, who's been with us in Edinburgh for 6 years now. And we've seen bits of Richard throughout the whole stream in videos and things, but he's going to be joining us in person soon, and I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Nice.
Stavros, can you tell us about how you got involved with Gig Buddies?
Yes, I got involved in Gig Buddies from mate. When my mate had a little thing around his finger, around his wrist, and I saw it, and then I put it down on my phone, on my notepad, and I saw it, and I thought, wow, this is great. And then I rang up, Then I spoke to a woman called Carol Snell, and then she rang and said, "Yeah, can you call me back later?" Because I was at work before the pandemic hit. Then she rang back later and said, "Yeah, I'd love to join." And then came in the office and joined. And then on the first outing was Jess Mill. I first met her, and we started, having a connection, going out, and all of that. Yeah.
What kind of we've already been given a bit of a hint by Paul Richards, who I believe you've met, Stavros, about your love for heavy metal.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
what kind
love
of
it.
things?
Yeah. And I went to a
What do
few
you like
tours.
getting out to?
I love going to heavy metal gigs and going to the concerts and meant to have like festival and stuff. Then pandemic hit, got a few tickets. I don't know if you did the same. Got a few tickets to some few gigs, and then you find that the pandemic hits, lockdown, then they have to refund you. And refund the money. That was a bit disappointing. But yeah, did some online activities. I came up with the idea to do a few like stories to tell about how music you like, what got you into the music. Few ideas for us to keep engaging because we're all a bit lonely at home, not able to do much. We could have, go out, but we had like health orders at home. I don't know if you guys had that same problem, that same health orders, but yeah, like stay at home, not go out is essential, like work or stuff like that. And
Yeah, we had a lot of similar things.
yeah,
I
so
spoke
that's what came
to
up with these online activities ideas to engage with gig buddies. Because otherwise, if I didn't come up with that, I don't know what would have happened. So I had to think of something.
yeah, and Matt, how did you get involved with Gig Buddies?
Good question. So I've been with Gig Buddies from day one. That was 7 years ago. I I was a bit of a loose end, to be honest. I just finished volunteering in Cambodia and teaching in China, and a friend of mine worked for the parent company, ACO Facility Services. And I said to him, "Oh, you got the boss's email address? I'll just drop an email." Lo and behold, it worked. I was taken on as the social media coordinator initially. And when we started, Carol and myself were the only two people working on it, and we were allocated about 6 hours a week. So it was a part-time project. And that was 7 years ago. And now, from an organisational point of view, we've branched out to the Central Coast. We've got 4 employees, well, 5, including Carol. Carol obviously takes care of the organisation. And we're about to extend the team as well. We're about to add 2 new people.
Wonderful.
And I think that's what underlines how much, as an organisation, we've grown. From a Sydney point of view, we've got about 150 people. The Central Coast, we've been around almost about a year. We've got about 10 people. We are growing. So yeah, our growth has been fantastic. And yeah, I've been with the company now for 7 years, and it's wonderful. It's brilliant to be part of it. Brilliant to be with Alex and Stavros, and just play a part in tackling social isolation.
That's it.
David, thanks for joining us again. Have you got any questions that you'd like to ask about Gig Buddies in Australia? Obviously, you're a Gig Buddies member, of course, in Glasgow, which is the other side of the world. So is there anything you want to know about how it works in Australia?
Yeah. We've actually found out a wee bit of fact about the Sabbath. So we've actually been taught by Paul Richards that he likes his heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into Gig Buddies, Sabbath?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So what gigs did we go to before the pandemic hit, like festivals and stuff, before they announced lockdowns?
And have you managed to get out to what's Gig Buddies looking like at the moment then in Australia?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
We had like a Christmas party that was good. Like it was separate, like different venues. We got a restriction, and then we had a birthday party last year at a place called Cockatoo Island. Lots of fun. Cold night, but it was so good. But then we had some few other stuff planned, and then we found out that a new variant came of Corona, and then they locked us up, and then finally made a Christmas party. And then we had some more restrictions when the Omicron came, and now we're planning on our birthday party. We're just not sure when we're making it, but we're looking options.
Like Stavros said, we're just off the back of another lockdown. Probably came out around January time, and it's sort of lingering around that sort of self-doubt about people wanting to go.
Yeah, the BA2, that's the one. The BA2, yeah.
Yeah, but I have to say though, from a company point of view, I think we're very healthy in terms of our community. You know, we've done a lot online, and our numbers are really excellent at the moment. So,
Yeah.
Stavros said, at the moment we're planning our 7th birthday. We've got a few things lined up. We can't say too much at the moment because we've got Stavros
We don't know
Alex
yet.
here.
I sent my IDs because I was at a wedding as well.
We're trying to release it to everyone at the same time. We are working
Yeah,
on
I was at a wedding, so I couldn't make it. So yeah,
that.
I
Will be our
sent my
first.
IDs, so we'll see.
Our birthday will be our first group gathering. And yeah, we're thoroughly looking forward to that. So look, we are getting back to sort of those big number gigs, but yeah, and I suppose we just came back from the Mardi Gras as well, and I'm sure Alex can tell you a bit about the Mardi Gras. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
40,000 people.
Best fun I ever had.
Go for Alex.
Yeah,
Mardi Gras was sensational. It was just this was our second year participating. Because of COVID, it's usually on one of the Sydney's famous streets, Oxford Street, but it was moved to this Sydney Cricket Ground, and it was this first time with this fantastic.
I've got some photos that I'm going to share on the stream, and maybe you can talk us through them. Hopefully, I'm going to be finding them in the right place.
Go for it.
Sure.
That'll be good.
I should say as well, while Sam's loading that up, Sam and I met a number of years ago when I came back to England, and I flew up to Edinburgh, and we had a chat over coffee and stuff, and we sort of bounced ideas around. So yeah, Sam and I aren't strangers.
Yeah, I think that was our first year of gig. It must have been 2016.
Yeah,
I think.
Sounds about right.
So we'd only just started. And yeah, no, it was just fantastic for me to chat to people who were already doing it, and yeah, just get that experience. As Paul said,
Sam, I'm going to embarrass you. I heard a rumour by Paul that you were actually going over to Australia for the Gig Buddies partnership to meet them.
It just never happened. I'd love to go to Australia. We were chatting about it very loosely at the start of 2020. Is when we were talking about it. So obviously we picked the worst year to plan that. But I just want to quickly go back to what Alex was saying about one of his best Gig Buddies memories, which is really recent, which is the Mardi Gras. And I've got some pictures up now that I can hopefully somehow bring up on screen.
Just while you're doing that, Sam, I'm going to make a coffee. Okay.
No worries. I'll see you soon, Paul.
See you in a minute.
Grab a coffee, Paul.
So, Alex, if I start flicking through these, do you want to just chat to us about what Mardi Gras is, how Gig Buddies gets involved, and what you love about it so much?
Yeah.
Well, before Gig Buddies invited me, I didn't even know what Mardi Gras really was. I mean, I knew it existed, but I didn't really know how it kind of ran. I mean, it's always been on Oxford Street, Sydney, which is a very famous street. But since for 2 years, it's been great having being accepted into Mardi Gras, and it was just fantastic.
Yep, so much fun.
Matt, how did that relationship with getting involved in Mardi Gras start then? What's the drive behind that?
So look, we talk about being inclusive in a broad church, and we've always wanted to aspire to do it. What I should say is that we've, as a member of our staff, Beck, and Beck's been amazing at driving this, and Beck's participated in several Mardi Gras marches in the past, and since she's come on board with Gig Buddies, she was sort of the catalyst, if you like, of us putting an application in. Once we were accepted, put it out amongst our community, and the feedback was overwhelming. To the point where this year we had to ballot because numbers were so we're only allowed 40 people. We could easily eclipse that number. So Beck was quite influential in that sense. But the feedback from our group has been amazing. And next year, plan is to go back to the traditional routes down Oxford Street. It's also World Pride in Sydney, which is a huge event. So we're looking to try and get back in again next year, make it a hat trick. yeah, sort of watch your space on that front.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Oh, no,
Well,
fantastic.
you've been part of the last two Mardi Gras as well, haven't you?
Yeah, couldn't believe it. I thought, how did we do this? We're amazing. We're the best show in town.
That's a famous photo there, Sam. I'm going to get
Yes.
Yeah, I've just noticed this one. Alex, do you wanna explain what this is? This is great.
That was a dream. I am one of Sydney's biggest Wiggles fans, and I actually thought when I was approaching the area that they were already on the screen, and but they weren't. They were actually right there, and it was I've actually known Anthony for several years now. Again, 7 years, and it was he soon knew who I was, and he's the kindest person there is, as is the newest Wiggles so high. But they're just amazing people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like a bit of the Wiggles. It's great. And is there scope to get them more involved in Gig Buddies at all? I know they are superstars, so that might be a bit tricky to do.
I hope so.
Wonderful.
I mean, I am Gig Buddies Wiggles representative.
Mm.
Oh my.
Go for it. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was here, right? So is this a huge is it a rugby stadium? Sorry, I can't quite see. Or is it just a big sports
They
arena?
upgraded one of the stands as well.
It's the Sydney Cricket Ground, so it's world famous. So yeah, you think about hosts all the Ashes.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Sydney Swans play there. A lot of rugby teams play there.
Must be an amazing thing to be out on the field as well.
Yes, from an English point of view, this summer was pretty disappointing from a cricket point of view. But it's nice for an English person to walk round and stay out there for a considerable amount of time.
Oh, it just looks fantastic. So is that like an all-day huge group event that is just now going to hopefully be an annual celebration?
Yeah. So the Mardi Gras has been happening, I think, since 1978. And originally it was a protest movement, about LGBTQI rights and everything. And now it's gone beyond that, if you like. It's a celebration, and it goes when it's in the traditional grounds of Oxford Street, which is a huge street through Sydney. It pretty much goes throughout the afternoon and evening. Because of COVID, they've had to sort of change the plan a little bit. Yeah. And now at the SDG, you're basically on the field for about 20, 30 minutes. You do a lap. Yeah. There's live entertainment, like there's the Wiggles and that sort. So I think Darren Hayes from Truly Madly Deeply performed as well. Going back, breaking back the years there a little bit. But it's just a huge spectacle, and 40,000 is a sellout. And it had a global TV audience as well. We were on TV as well. I'm not sure what the clip is, but yeah, that was good.
The clip's coming, Matt. Don't worry.
Good man, Alex.
I'm going to quickly play a little video that just reminds everyone why we're here and what we're doing. But when we come back, I'd really like to go around and chat about everyone's number one Gig Buddies experience that they've had. And then after that, we'll talk about what you're looking forward to this year now that things seem to be changing and getting busy again.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll be back in like 2.5 minutes.
Please do.
And we're back. Hello, everybody.
Bravo.
So, yeah, what I'd really like to do, starting with you, Stavros, can we have a chat about
Yes.
what's your biggest Gig Buddies highlight? What's been your favourite moment?
You went down
from
to
your time
City
with
Court,
Gig Buddies?
Tasmania. Went to City Court, Tasmania in Hobart. Presented for the Gig Buddies International Conference for Intellectual Disabilities. It was me, Carol, Lockie, and Tony.
Mm-hmm.
We went. Carol is the CEO. I think you know that. Yep. Yeah, we went all together down to Tasmania, and we presented the paper with the professors. We presented about the project and other people. They're presenting their work, like different projects they do in other disability sectors. And we were asked to go, and we went, and they had it in the hotel there. In the hotels, it was a lot of fun. we presented the paper and they loved us and they asked us, how did we do the gig buddies? What was it like and everything? And we told them what we do, how we run the program in Australia, and see if they can do something in their state. Where in
So
Australia, if they want to start up something, they can get in contact with us and we can tell them how we did it and how you can start it up
I know it's
yourself.
wonderful because something that's coming up a lot with all of the Gig Buddies members we've been speaking to, and it sounds like a similar thing. So, do you find it really important that you've got that platform to be able to tell people how Gig Buddies works, why it
Yeah,
works,
yeah,
and what
yeah,
you get out of it?
definitely. Yeah, it's great to tell them how it's great, and also we had like a policewoman come in, and we like to educate the bouncers as well. Like people who walk funny, they're not drunk, they've just got a disability, and educate people about discrimination, because that's one problems we've been having a lot in Australia. Now you got that same problem over there in the UK and stuff, but we've been having a lot of problems with the bouncers, and we want to have an educational program to educate them that we're walking funny because we've got a disability, not because we're intoxicated or had a lot to drink. That was one of the things we wanted to do. A pilot program we discussed and welcome agreement here. Something we should talk about and see if we can come up with a solution that will benefit us all. That's one of the ideas, eh, Matthew? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it sort of goes back to sort of Paul Richards' sort of ethos when he set it up, about being punk and being out there and being mainstream. We don't go to the disability disco. We go to the mainstream events. We go to the mainstream pubs. We go to the big places, and we've changed attitudes. And you can only change attitudes by doing and by being seen. And I think we've been front with that. And look, that's our job to continue doing that. To push for that social change.
Yeah.
And make people realize that gig buddies are just the same as everyone else.
Exactly. And I'm not going out to get intoxicated or get smashed and start slurring and start talking nonsense. I'm out to have a good time. If we can educate the bouncers, not everybody slurs. Those slurs are those who drink, but you do get intoxicated from time to time, but not all the time. We're not always like that. There are weird ones, yes, I understand, but we got to have a good time, not to get smashed and come home and start all that other stuff that you see. That's not what we're about and never will be. And we want to educate the bouncers so they can see that we're doing nothing wrong. And also I want to mention one thing. When I went out to a Sepultura gig, the bouncer said not tonight because we was wearing the Sepultura shirt and the metal jacket with all the patches. And my friend said we don't discriminate and said, what's going on here? I don't know if you ever went through anything like that in the UK, any sort of discrimination when you went to a pub because you wear like either Iron Maiden or any of the band shirts, and the bouncer said, sorry mate, not tonight.
No, so in my experience, I'm just lucky enough that we haven't come across anything like that with any of our Gig Buddies members. But I know that it's definitely, everything you're talking about is an issue across the UK. A huge part of the way we like running Gig Buddies is that full holistic approach to how people can get out into the community, and so much of that does mean directly approaching venues, talking to venues about the barriers people face and the support people may need when they come along to your events, and that there is some stuff that Gig Buddies can do to help people get out more, but there's a lot that community venues can be doing, and we're more than happy to support them in changing that. That's our big message. We're not just telling you to change, we're saying here's what you can do and here's how we can support you in that.
I agree. Definitely. That sounds good. Yeah. That's a great plan. I love it.
Alex, same question to you. What are your Gig Buddies highlights? What's been the best thing so far?
Definitely the 2 Mardi Gras events.
Why?
I never thought I would be in Mardi Gras, and credit to my father, Peter, for signing me up in the first place. Because I can be known as Mr. or Dr. No, as it's stated, and I just I'm usually confined to my screen but it was the best experience, and the roar from the crowd was the best.
I can imagine. It looks amazing. How many people do you reckon were there then?
Easily 40,000.
That's just mad, isn't it? That's wonderful stuff. Cool. Well, I hope it happens again next year, and I hope it turns into this annual thing. And what I really like about Gig Buddies is forming those relationships with community organizations and things that happen locally that can just grow. You know, it's not going to be a one-off thing. So something we're really looking forward to this year is we're going up to a music festival called Doon the Rabbit Hole. It's in a place called Doon, which is just outside of Stirling, just north of where we are in Edinburgh and Glasgow.
Oh.
And it's a 4-day music festival. And we approached them to kind of talk about access to the festival, and we thought, we were like, oh, if the 3 of our staff members can go and each have a +1 to bring along a Gig Buddies member, that would be wonderful. And the offer we got back from the festival were, well, why don't we give you 50 weekend tickets?
Bravo!
We've got 8 left, I think. Not everyone's coming for the full weekend, and that's absolutely fine. You know, if you just want to come along for the day or 2 days, that's up to you. That's really great. But I think we've got something like 24 Gig Buddies members who are signed up for the full 4 days. They're going to camp with us. We're going to prepare people to camp at a music festival. And that seems to be a relationship that can only develop and can only grow with us and that music festival. And I hope the same thing happens with the Mardi Gras. And like Stavros was talking about changing event organizers' perceptions of disability and access. It sounds like the Mardi Gras is already an incredibly inclusive event anyway, and that's obviously its message. But if Gig Buddies can do anything to get in there and leave your mark on it as well, right? And it's leaving the mark of people with that lived experience and saying, this is how it affects me and this is how I feel it should change. So no, bravo for that. That's absolutely wonderful.
Sam, you've got a question. What music was at the festival?
What music is at the...
like Wales rock, pop, you know, like what type of...
So it's a big mix of things, mainly kind of like, I'd say mainly like indie music, really. But the first headliner is Patti Smith, so a bit of a legendary
Patti Smith
performer there.
But as modern people.
An artist from way back when, but I think it's going to be a bit special. I think it's kind of a bit mad to me that she's the Thursday night headliner and not later in the week. But busy schedule, that's what I reckon it must be. She's in demand. Neil, who's coming along, just put in the chat that the Buzzcocks are playing when we're there. Some Scottish favourites, Bell and Sebastian are headlining one of the nights. Amy McDonald. I don't know if these names have kind of reached the other side of the world and how they do in Australia, but
I know of them.
Yeah, nice. All sorts of names. It's going to be really good fun.
I'm sure Matt's heard of them. Matt does a normally a Saturday night Facebook Live, Sam.
Nice. And Matt's from over our way anyway, so I think he knows a lot of these names. Matt, same question to you. What's been your highlight for Gig Buddies? What's been special for you?
I feel I've had the best seat in the house in some respects because my job is to market Gig Buddies. I take care of the social media, so every week I'm talking about what people have been doing. So I've had the pleasure of meeting so many people and hearing so many people's stories and seeing so many people change, if you like, you know, evolve from being potentially, you know, quite timid and shy then to being quite gregarious and outgoing. So I've had a brilliant seat in that. You know, we've done so many amazing gigs along the way. I think about, you know, we went to the Cronulla Sharks for a couple of seasons. We were in partnership with them, a big NRL club. We've done Halloween cruises on a harbour cruise all around Sydney, which is stunning views. I DJ'd at the Cockatoo Island, which is our sixth birthday, which is amazing.
It was a great DJ.
Thanks, Alex. We've so look, we've done so much, and we keep pushing the envelope. So probably those gigs. Also, from a personal point of view, I was very grateful when Carol said yes to myself to extending the program up in this part of the world. So for those who don't know the Central Coast, we're about an hour north of Sydney. So, about a year and a half ago or so, I approached Carol and she said, yes, why not take the project up there? And it's the first time we've branched outside of Sydney. It's like a hub, if you like. And we look at what the UK have done, now that when Brighton were just then, they came to, we were the first one, Sydney, but now you look at the UK, it's all over the place. Every, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, all throughout England, they're doing a fantastic job. And there's a demand for us in Australia, for us to replicate what we do in other parts of the world. So I suppose that's the next stage.
Like in Greece or stuff. Because,
but being a bit of a pilot area, if you like, as well. In the Central Coast, I'm incredibly proud and honoured to sort of roll it out up here and try and emulate the successes we've had in Sydney in this part of the world.
Oh, absolutely wonderful! I can't wait to see where it goes. And that's been the big message from the past 14 hours we've been on at the moment, of just seeing the comments and that universal agreement of this is just a wonderful thing. Like, it can't be anything but good. And the fact that it is so simple and easy to get involved with, and obviously it just needs to be in your local area, and it isn't everywhere, and we'd love to get it everywhere. And as Paul Richards told us last night, if you don't have a Gig Buddies project in your local area, just get in touch with, to be honest, just get in touch with a Gig Buddies project, and they can put you in touch with the right people, really. Yeah.
So Sam, have you checked the latest fundraiser? We're at 574.
I have. I just put a note in the comments saying we're £26 away from £600 raised. Thank you so much for your support, everyone. If we could hit that £600, that'd be fantastic.
We need the 1,000. We need the 1,000.
As Rihanna just said, we are £400 away from Angie singing a song. No one knows what song. No one knows what it's going to be.
Angie doesn't know what song.
That's fine.
She doesn't know. She'll be fair, yeah. I can test her that because she keeps telling me that I forget the words all the time. She's like, I just forgot the words in that.
Highlight just a comment that Steve's left us in the comments, and it kind of raises why Gig Buddies exist. So Steve says, I used to be a caregiver for a gentleman in Wales in his 30s. Used to upset me putting him to bed every night at 7:30. Where was his social life? And then he says, if I'd known about you guys back then, I'd have taken him myself. Such a lovely, outgoing person, but was literally housebound because he was in a chair. And that's why Gig Buddies exists, right? It's because support, and I think it's also really important to highlight that support for many people is moving in exactly the right direction because of things like the Stay Up Late campaign and people knowing that they can take control of their support. But for many people, especially after the pandemic as well, that idea of getting out, the ability to get out, especially later, just isn't there for various reasons. And Gig Buddies aims to just kind of solve those problems or help enable that person get out just by introducing them to people who like the same things. It's as simple as that, really. If like Stavros, you love heavy metal, it's about getting in touch with us and saying, that's what I love. And I know that up here in Scotland, we've got quite a few members who love heavy metal. And it's, just pairing people together to get out to things that they love. Stavros, is there anything coming up this year that you're excited for, or anything that you want to do? It might not even be...
Band is doing more new music because it came out the last new music. It was Ritual Warfare. I'm not sure what good bands are coming in because, slowly they coming up, and I heard that our government is allowing fully vaccinated people to come to Australia. Mm-hmm. So if the bands want to come, I believe they have to be vaccinated and stuff. So I'm not sure yet, still waiting to see, how it will happen. I know the Foo Fighters are coming. That's all I know. That's big, that's coming at the moment. And it's supposed to be Seven Dust also with what's the other one? Raise the Bar, that is Steel Panther. Yeah, Steel Panther with Seven Dust. That's what I know is supposed to come. Schedule.
I think we're in a similar situation to you, that all of those international acts just haven't been able to come over yet. And gigs being cancelled or postponed constantly, and we're just getting
because
to that
your
point now
government-
where
Because your government won't
international
allow
wrestling
it, like
come back.
Boris Johnson, your Prime Minister government, you won't allow them to come unless, they're fully vaccinated or something like that. I don't know if you're doing that, like what we're doing, but yeah, that's how it is. So
Yeah, I know it was quite tricky for people to come
come.
across last year, but I think it's getting easier for acts to
Ah,
come
it's
across
good,
now and
good to
play
hear
shows.
that, mate.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what's happening where we are. So I just want to let you know, if they get all that done, then hopefully we'll get to see them come up, the bands. Yeah.
Well, I hope it
Well,
happens
we'll
for you.
Yeah,
Alex,
me too. Mate.
is there anything coming up this year that you're particularly excited for, or
Um,
would
well,
like to do
mainly,
this year?
mainly the Gig Buddies party. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Cool. What time of year does that happen again? It's quite soon, right?
Yeah, but it was gonna happen in February because that's when Gig Buddy's birthday is. But because of the pandemic and it's the whole scheme of things at the moment with the uncertain times, I think it's gonna be in May.
Cool. Not far though.
Yeah.
So is it a
That's
virtual
not too short.
party? Or is it an in-person party? 'Cause if it's a virtual party, don't forget to share it with some of your fellow gig buddies abroad, because some of us might even stay up late and come on.
Well, look, David, you're onto something there. Look, it probably will be in May, and I've spoken about maybe streaming the event via our Facebook page, because then we can use it as a bit of a marketing tool. Because for those who might miss out, or for those who might think, "Hang on, what's Gig Buddies about?" Look, you can see it front and center. This is what we do. We take over venues, we have good fun, we bring people together. So, David, you might be Lux in there, mate. We might be able to stream it, and you might be able to view it, and it should be time friendly from from a UK point of view as well. So, we'll spread the word accordingly.
Good stuff. Yeah, and Matt, is there anything, either something coming up this year that you're excited about, or is there something that might not be on the table at the moment, but something you'd love to do with Gig Buddies?
Is what I'm loving at the moment, and we really do push the sense of community over here, and we talk about coasties going to Sydney events and Sydney siders coming to coastie events, and we're starting to see that a bit more. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is, along with the team, trying to put on more events where Central Coasties and Sydney siders can meet up and, again, expand those social groups, meet new people, form new friendships. So tomorrow, for example, we've got a gig which is sort of halfway between the Central Coast and Sydney. We're going for a bite to eat. It should be pretty chilled out, but it's going to be really good. So look, I'm really looking forward to people facilitating more of those events, and for people meeting new people, expanding those friendship groups.
I've just had word. We have just hit over £600. We're at 604. Thank you so much, everybody. We did it. And
it's getting closer, Angie.
Yeah, we are 60% of the way there.
Can Angie actually sing or not?
No. Yeah, she can. She can.
She will.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, actually, that's the answer. She will.
Paul, did Angie know about this? Because I think you should be doing it with her. Is that true?
She said, she goes, I can't sing, but I will sing. So
there you go.
Positive mental attitude. Yeah, she
Gig
goes.
Buddies is about giving things a go, and if it works out, then fantastic. And if it doesn't, we're all in it together, and it doesn't matter. It's all for fun.
Sam, that's how I look at every gig I play.
Exactly. If it doesn't matter, who cares? It's all good. Matt, I loved what you were saying there about Central Coast Gig Buddies meeting Sydney Gig Buddies. And when we went over and branched out into Glasgow, it was that exact same idea, right? Of actually from Edinburgh to Glasgow, it's 45 minutes on the train.
Yeah.
It's not far at all. And, that's a shorter journey than it would take me at the moment to get down to the other side of Edinburgh from where I am, right? With roadworks and stuff, that would take me like an hour and a half at the moment from my house. But to get to Glasgow from the train station, it's 45 minutes. And the events that then open up to you, if you're confident to take that train or take that bus, for people with a disability in Scotland, bus travel across the country is free. And many people get a +1 as well. So we can get it right up to Sky if we wanted to, all for free, if we really, wanted to go for it. But what we found is the pandemic and our online events really were almost like the catalyst for that getting together happening, because previous to that, we were trying to get people across because of the events that were offered in Glasgow. And we're saying, come across to Glasgow because this event's happening. But now we've got the online events, and it's a really easy way for people from different locations to meet each other. What we're now finding is people want to come across from Glasgow to Edinburgh, and people want to come across from Edinburgh to Glasgow, not for the event, but it's to see people they've met online and they want to meet in person. And the event is just the other good thing about meeting up. You know, it's, I get to go to this gig. Cool. That's great. But I get to see my friends who I've not met in person yet, or I don't get to see in person all that much.
We've definitely witnessed that in Sydney as well. And, you know, not just Sydney to Central Coast, but Sydney itself is a huge area. You know, I think about if you live in Bondi and you've met someone online from our social events who lives in, I don't know, Manly or further afield up by Newport or something like that, that's well over an hour's journey. So people have come together and made new connections, or, you know, it's good to finally meet you in person. You know, I've spoken to you so much, you know, so often. And so yeah, there's definitely similarities from what you've just spoken about, Sam, to what we've experienced as well here in Sydney.
Yeah, no, we've been saying all day that David and I have only met in person once. But the amount of time we've spent together chatting is hundreds of hours.
Zooming and Teams, actually. So we've done a couple of team sessions with the police.
Yeah. So it feels like we really know each other and we're part of this, but we've only met up once.
In that set, you know, lots of Sydney siders come to the Christmas parties that Gig Buddy, like Ernie puts on from Wales and stuff like that. And, you know, amazing. You know, it really does go back to that sense of community, and we're all in it together. You know, everyone's the same. Everyone's here for a good time.
Well, if there's any way we can bring Gig Buddies with Theatre Trust together with Gig Buddies Sydney and Central Coast more often, please let us know, and I'd love to do it. And it's been
Sam, why don't we arrange a big summer Gig Buddies party on Zoom?
We could do. I found that the summer Zoom stuff is a little bit tricky to sell, purely because it's so nice outside. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Maybe if Angie releases an album, it goes global, goes platinum, you'll have enough money to everyone to get on a plane and come over to Sydney.
Yeah, that £1,000 I will cover the you nice go over to Sunday.
I'm just going to try and sell her that idea.
Go for it.
So Paul should actually go over to Sydney and do it.
I think the album happens at £5,000 donated.
She says that's a great idea.
Or we can bring it down. The album happens at £700 donated.
I'd say 625.
And we get an album.
605.
So, Alex, Stavros, and Matt, thanks so much for joining us today. This evening for you, this morning for us. If you're hanging around throughout the night,
thanks again, guys.
Thanks so much.
Is there anything else you want me to do, mate? Or that's it?
I think because Paul, we're about to go into another chat with someone. Is that right?
11:15. Yeah, we've got Ken Bonsall from Ferocious Dog.
So we'll go for a bit of a break, and we'll join everyone at 11:15. So yeah, everyone from Australia, thanks so much for joining. It's been wonderful to chat.
Yeah, it was. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful year. See you all soon. See you all in a minute.
See you all in a bit. Bye.
Bye.